Hello guys. I still remain your friend Belinda or your sister Belinda. Today we'll be talking about food safety and to also celebrate today's date, which is the World Food Safety Day, which is being commemorated or celebrated every 7th of June each year. Well, the theme this year is Safe Food Now for a Healthy Tomorrow. Eating safe food, healthy food is very important for our life, for our health, because contaminated food or unsafe food can cause many diseases. We have the ones that are called the salmonella typhi or salmonella paratyphi. We all know that is common in Africa. The one that causes typhoid fever is more common in Africa. We also have the cholera, which is caused by this parasite called Vibrio cholera. So cholera, dysentery, botulism, which is very deadly, botulism. We have the one of listeria infection, which can also affect pregnant women, and it can even cause miscarriage in pregnant women. There are many of them. There are many of food contaminated or food poisoning, foodborne diseases it's called, because we got it from eating contaminated food. And these microorganisms that can cause all these diseases are like bacteria, viruses, parasites. There are many of them. The parasite like the tapeworm, Tinea solium, that's the species, the tapeworm. There are many, Entamoeba histolytica, they can cause dysentery. There are many of these. I think there are about 250 related foodborne pathogens that are called. So there are many of these. So we want to be careful the food we are eating. So that, like the theme of this year said, safe food now for a healthier tomorrow. So we will be safe, we will be healthier tomorrow. We don't want to get disease. We don't want to get ill from what we are eating. But the question is, how safe is our food? We know normally the food we have been eating today have been genetically produced. They are genetically modified meal. And I could advise, my only advice is, if you're wealthy, if you are rich, you've got the money, you tend to go for organic foods. They are more healthier. But if not, let's eat our normal, the ones they produce for us, whether it's genetically modified or not. But we want to know how to limit foodborne poison or foodborne diseases. Ways you can limit that is ensuring that you clean your food. Clean your food when you buy it. How do you clean your food when you buy it? Be it the fresh fruits, the fresh vegetables, whatever food. If it's not canned, if it's a fresh food, raw food, you need to clean it. Wash it under running tap. Preferably use a little bit of warm water to wash it with salt. Research has shown that salt can kill some microorganisms, some bacteria. So you can use salt to clean it, to wash it off. Wash those microorganisms. Because most of our food, you know that in the soil, this species called Clostridium botulinum is more common in the soil, its habitat in the soil. And so when you bring those fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, you did not wash it properly, you contaminate yourself. And second one is separate your meal. When you buy food, when you go to the shopping, separate your meat, your fish, the vegetables, the ready to eat food. Separate them different, so that the water or the what comes from the meat or the fish does not contaminate the ready to eat meal. Learn to separate food. Even when you're storing them in the fridge, also let the meat be at the bottom so that it doesn't contaminate fresh or cooked food in that fridge. Another thing is cook your meal. Cook your meal well. Cook it well, properly at the normal temperature, the high temperature. And when you are rewarming or reheating your food, let it be reheated at the high temperature in order to be able to kill the microorganisms, be it parasite, be it bacteria, the viruses, in order to be able to eliminate it. And one other thing is where you need to clean your food. Remember, especially those who are preserving, like in Africa, the beans, the rice, because they want to preserve it from the parasites, the weevils that attack them. They use some pesticides, some chemicals. So you don't want to get that chemical contamination. You need to wash your food well and cook it well. After the cooking, the separating is after the cleaning, the separating, the cooking. As I say, cook it to the high temperature. And then the last one is to chill it. When we want to put our food in the fridge, we should let the food get cool. Get it cool before we store them in the fridge. Store them in a storage can, stuff like that. And tend to remove cooked food. Don't store it together with fresh raw food. Tend to separate it. Okay? And one more thing is we should learn how to prepare, cook our own food. Don't tend to eat restaurant-made food. Learn to cook food. It doesn't take much time. Just go to shopping, come back, prepare a meal. Eat it. It will last you for 3-4 days in the fridge. Then you prepare another meal. That's great time to prepare your own meal. Cook your own meal. And if it's not possible, especially for the men who buy food, when there are steps you should take. When you go to the restaurant to buy food, ensure that the restaurant has inspection rating. Check the environment of where you're eating. How clean is it? What is the inspection rating of that food, of that restaurant? Do they have a poor rating or do they have a good, excellent rating? And then you check the environment, you check the handling of that. Before they even give you food, you check the environment, check how they handle their food. And then check that, make sure that the food is hot. Let hot food be hot and cold food be cold, be it cold drinks or whatever. Let it be hot at a good temperature. Yeah, it's better you let it cool down and then you eat it, but make sure that when they bring the food, it is hot. Because some of us in Africa, I could see some people, the way we handle our food. And before we start cooking food, we need to ensure that the kitchen, the environment is clean before we start cooking food. Wash your hands for 20 seconds, probably with under running water. Warm running water with soap. Wash it. Wash your hand during. Wash your hand even within your cooking, because you can touch meat, wash up meat. You want to go and wash another thing, you need to clean off your hand and go and wash another thing. So wash your hand properly, even before, during, and after you're cooking, and clean the environment after cooking. Healthy or food safety, non-contaminated food is very vital to a healthy life, to healthy living. So this is all my little advice I want to share today. As we all enjoy our meal today, be it our supper, be it you're eating your lunch now or your breakfast, as we all enjoy our meals, check that the food is healthy. And one more thing, if you're buying a canned food, a preserved food or whatever food you're buying in the supermarket or in the market or in the shop, wherever, ensure the food, you check the expiry dates. I know that in Africa, most of even the sellers don't even tend to check the expiry dates of their food. I learned that as a habit to check it. Especially all this canned food. Check the expiry dates of the food and don't eat expired food. If it's expired, if your food you keep in the fridge or not in the fridge has this foul smelling odor, discard it. Don't go and eat expired food. That's a little piece of advice I want to share. That's just my tips or food safety tips I want to share today. Bye, friends.